Looks like it is 12 o'clock and time to begin on this beautiful Friday afternoon. I guess it's actually not beautiful. It's finally raining here in Portland, Oregon. But anyways, today is the Back to Basics, the last one of our series on follow-up. My apologies. Thank you for rescheduling with me. My apologies for not being able to do it on Monday, but we're going to go ahead and finish out today with the follow-up. Next week, we will loop right back around to the communication styles Monday morning. Remember that Monday morning, it has changed to 8 a.m. Pacific time instead of our regularly scheduled 1:30 Pacific. We're going to try something new for the rest of the quarter. And so every Monday will now be at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Getting to today's topic on follow-up. All right. So there's a few different types of leads to call them. So just what are they real quick? New leads are your first-time calling leads, the leads that you just got, whether they're a minute old or a day old yet, or not called yet, but that you haven't actually gotten a hold of yet. First thing you want to do is call it immediately. There's no bigger stress than call it immediately. You have to do it while it's on their mind, and you have to do it before someone else closes the sale. Now, is it best to be the first person to get a hold of them? Sometimes, yes. Is it bad not to be the first person? Absolutely not. Some of my favorite leads were the leads that somebody else, 5 other people, had talked to them, and they were tired of everybody else trying to push one product down their throat. So even if you're not the first, treat them as though they've never talked to anyone else and start the process right from the beginning. So about that lead, though, call it immediately. Always when you call, if there's no answer, you want to make sure that you're leaving a message and sending an email if you're getting an email, if you're getting an email address with that lead. Talking about the message really quick, we talked about it in the Selling Over the Phone series. So if you join me for those ones, you'll know what I'm talking about. But your message, you have to put something into it. You have to be a person that you want to call back, okay? It can't be a boring, minute-long, you requested some insurance information, and I deal with all the carriers, and I can help you pick the right plan, and so, yeah, give me a call back, and my number. You can't do that to them. You've got to be energetic. You've got to make them want to call you back. If you can perfect that message, I literally, when I was on the phone day in and day out, I had my message perfected so that it was short, sweet, to the point, piqued their interest, and my favorite callback that I got was from a lady 9 months later. 9 months later off of one voicemail, and she literally, when I answered the phone, she literally said, "Hi, I don't know if I need to start over with you or what, but I was looking for insurance about 9 months ago and realized that I didn't need it then, but I need it now, and your message sounded like somebody I could talk to, so I deleted everyone else. Can you help me?" Absolutely, I can help you. 9 months later, this is turning into a lead. So perfect your voicemail. Voicemail can be an amazing thing. On the email side of it, you should send an email every single time. You should have a signature template set up so that you can just click on it and send it out. That tagline, that subject line, stop putting the word insurance or quote in it. I don't know how many times I get on a daily basis emails in my mailbox that have, your requested quotes or looking for insurance or whatever, and I haven't even looked. So stop putting those in the subject lines. You know, if you're leaving a message, put something as simple as follow up to my voicemail. Do something that makes them want to open it. So think about what you would open. So if answered, then of course you're going to go through and you're going to do the appropriate pitch. Everything that we've been talking about in the selling over the phone and in this series of uncovering the needs, building the rapport, all of those sort of things. So first off, call it immediately. Then if it's not a one-call close, this is where we get into the follow-up stuff. Okay. First off, if you remember closing the sale, you actually have to ask for the sale first. Okay? Don't just end the call by saying, so let me go ahead and email you this information. That is the most frustrating thing that I hear people say. Okay? Regardless of what they've told you, regardless of what you would want, stop imposing your wishes on them, what you would want. Ask for the sale. You actually have to do something of, so the next piece of the process, the next thing we need to do in order to get this into place, ask for that sale. And if you can't get that sale in the one call, then you use the steps. You've got to determine if the client is serious. Okay? We all can figure this out. Are they going to be worth your time? How interactive were they with you on the telephone call? If they're not really interactive, if they've asked for the quote via email, send it to them. But if they're not really interactive, you shouldn't be calling them back every single day to try and get them on the phone, because guess what? They weren't really interested anyways, and they're just trying to brush you off. Okay? So stop wasting your time chasing around those leads. Now, if they were interested and they ask for that email, you should do it still, but that's when you're going to schedule that callback. Okay? Scheduling a callback is critical. Okay? When you schedule a callback, hold on, let me go back to the email in quotes quick. When you email them, only give the general guidelines, the general outline, whether you're typing it out, whether you do a little copy and paste. Stop sending them the full 30, 40-page brochure, because they get confused and they get lost. They are looking at the other 5 plans that the carrier has to offer. They're reading all the exclusions that don't apply to them. They're reading so many things that they either come back to you with a ton of questions or they get lost. Okay? So stop sending out the brochure. If there's something that they're looking for, maybe they're looking for the exact number of mental health visits that they're going to get under their IHC plan. So make them call you and ask you. That gives you a little bit to say, oh, this person's actually interested. I need to try a little bit harder with them. I need to try and close it now. I need to make sure that I'm on top of my callbacks, whatever it might be, okay? But do a little outline for them of, this is your IHC plan with your copays, this is the American General plan with your critical illness and accident benefits, and this is your dental. And then make them call you. Give them the reasons to call you back, okay? Then, as far as that scheduled callback that we were talking about, do not schedule an exact day and time. You have to be more like the cable guy where, I mean, we just moved, so we had cable this week, and they literally told us between 12 and 5, and they told us that the guy was going to call and schedule a more accurate time, and he never did. We were just sitting there. They didn't show up till 3:30. I'm not saying the full 12 and 5, but, you know, give them the 2 different time slots, and at least give yourself a half-hour leeway. Tell them they can choose between Wednesday 10:30 to 11 or Thursday 3:30 to 4, okay? Because your job is selling, which means if you get caught up on the phone answering questions, You can't tell someone, yeah, I'm going to have to call you back and finish going over this information because I have another app to do right now. Okay? You're just shooting yourself in the foot with that. So make sure that you're giving yourself that little bit of leeway so that they know you're busy. Even if your schedule is wide open, pretend like you're busy. Give them the 2 different time slots and go with it. And then the other option of it is just choose a general time and day. Does Thursday morning work for you? Does Thursday around this same time work for you? Whatever it might be, okay? Then, above all, do what you said you were going to do. This is, I add this in here because I don't know how many times I talk to agents and agents tell me that that's their little trick to get someone to call them back. Yeah, I tell them I'm going to email it to them, but then I never do. Well, guess what? You're just like all the other agents that don't follow through with what they said, so why should that client call you back? Why should that client choose to do business with you when you don't follow through with what you said you were going to do? So do what you said. If you said you're going to send them an email, send them an email. Just be general with it and give them reasons to call you back otherwise. Hot lead is once you've pitched it and you've scheduled that callback. Okay, you've sent them the email, you've scheduled the callback, and even if you schedule a callback for next Wednesday at between 10:30 and 11, call them the very next day. Call them the next day and simply throw it out there. Just wanted to check in and make sure that you got my email. Guess what? You're on the forefront of their mind. You're the person that's done what they said they were going to do, and you're the person that cares because you want to make sure that they got what you said you were going to do. Then, if it leads to a conversation of, yeah, I got it, and I had a couple questions, and you end up talking then, great. Otherwise, if they don't bring up any questions, if they say, yeah, I got it, and you go, great, so I have you on my calendar for next Wednesday between 10:30 and 11. Does that time still work for you? And so you're not forcing them into it right now. You're showing them that you're concerned that they got it, and you're concerned about their time, and you want to make sure that they're getting what they need. So that brings us to once you call them on that day, and they don't answer, what happens to it, okay? So you call them at 10:30 and they don't answer. One, call them back again in, closer to 11, maybe again in the afternoon if they don't. But you have to remember that everybody's life is busy, okay? There are times when you double book yourself. There's times when you move appointments around. Heck, I was racing around trying to get in here at 12 because in my mind I had this webinar ingrained in my head at 12 instead of 12:30. So I open everything up and then I realized that it's at 12:30. It's the perfect example of your clients have other things on their mind too, so give them a little leeway. When you call the first time at that 10:30, you have to leave them a voicemail. Again, on those voicemails, don't drone on, be brief, be energetic, and keep it short and sweet. Hey, this is Amber with AHCP. Just wanted to check in. We were supposed to talk at 10:30, so give me a call and leave them your number. That's it. If they call back again, like I said, 11, call back sometime in the afternoon, whatever it might be, call them a couple times that day, and then call them every single day. Every single day. Leaving a message every other day for the next week or two. Depends upon how hot that lead was that you thought, how interested that they were. But call them every single day because what's going to happen? They're busy. I've had this multiple times with clients where they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for continuing to call. I just got busy. My business was crazy. I had to finish this. I had this pop up. My cousin was sick. My dad had a heart attack. Who knows what they say? But guess what? Something popped up. And 75, 80% of the time, that client is thankful that you kept on them. Okay? So call every day, leaving a message every other day for at least a week, sometimes up to 2 weeks. After that, I would still consider calling every single week and leaving a message, doing this for the next month or so. I did it. It was my practice as an agent, and it works. Works. Absolutely works. I've closed deals 6 months after I pitched it when I thought it was the best lead in the world and was going to close today. Sometimes things pop up in their life. So you know how your life runs. Be a little lenient on them. Then a reminder with our communication styles and some of the other times that we've talked, these are the most stressful times of their life, so give them some leniency. 90% of the people you're talking to are changing jobs, they're getting married or getting divorced, or who knows what it is, but they're huge changes. So be lenient, give them some leeway. The other part of leaving that message every single week is, I hear this all the time, an agent leaves a voicemail and it sounds something like this. Yeah, this is Amber again. You told me to call you back a month ago, and I've been calling every day, every other day for the last month, and can you just call me and tell me whether you're still interested or not? How does that come across to the person? It comes across as, I mean, sometimes condescending, sometimes rude. They don't want to work with you anymore. Sometimes it comes across as being desperate. You don't want to be that person. You actually want to leave some sort of message that shows concern. Yeah, we were supposed to talk about some health insurance you requested, if you told me to call you back about, and I haven't been able to reach you. I'm just hoping everything's all right. Give me a call, and then leave your number. It's a completely different message that shows them that you're on their side. So, still leaving a message, and the worst thing you can do is make it sound desperate. Then, after that, it goes into your rainy day. If you still haven't contacted it, it goes into your rainy day file, okay? So those rainy day leads, I mean, nothing ever gets thrown away. I know a guy who takes, oh gosh, I think he gets maybe 20, 25 brand new leads a week, and actually I have to say he probably gets about 35 through all of his different forms, okay? And that guy consistently produces 40 to 50 apps a week off of his 30, 35 leads. How is he doing it? He follows this system. He's the one that taught me this system, okay? But also, he asks for the referrals, he does the job right, he builds the rapport, all of those sort of things. So he uses what he's given, okay? So never throw a lead away. Place it into your rainy day file. That once a month on slow days, you can call them. Just checking in, seeing how things are going. Or send a message every couple months. Just throw out an email that says, hey, Jane, I just wanted to check in and see if you had talked to your husband yet about that United Healthcare plan that we were going over. Let me know. Bye. Very, very simple. Doesn't take a whole lot, and it will help you immensely. That rainy day, oh, I think we're done, yeah, that is. Rainy day, all it is just a file that you keep around, whether it's a piece of paper that you keep them on, a notebook that you keep them on, or you keep them on, not Excel, your Outlook folder. The follow-up. I know we've got just a few people there, and so No questions. Michelle's asking about the PowerPoints, and I'd be happy to send you the PowerPoints. And Jack, yes, I'd be happy to send you guys the PowerPoints. Not a problem there. Actually, just on a separate note, kind of the same, found something that we think is going to work terrific for recording these. And so after we get them recorded, you will, actually the training page of the AHCP, watch them in order, watch them everywhere. Yes, hooray. So be able to start recording them. Anything else from you guys? Nothing? Perfect. Well, again, just a reminder, we're trying something new for the rest of the quarter, and so that is the Mondays at 8 a.m., kind of a get your week off right type training. Some of it's about the back to basics, some of it's the training over the phone, selling over the phone. It's always going to be some sort of motivational, hurrah, let's start it off right. Tuesdays will always be some sort of product, whether we're going over HSAs, where to pitch, how to pitch, when to pitch, or short-term, where to pitch, how to pitch, when to pitch. Also things like cross-selling, accident, or critical illness, and those sort of things, and building it in, some sort of product-related one. So for the rest of the year, mark your calendars and make sure that you join us, and hopefully all of those will be recorded. But again, thank you guys for attending, and if you have any questions or any issues, send it to me at training@ahcpsales.com, and I will either send it to the right person or answer your questions for you. Thanks, guys.